In this video, we are heading to the Dolomites in Italy, where we spent one glorious week in September of 2025. During this trip, we e-biked through Europe's largest alpine valley, found the most epic picnic location, and ate way too much pizza. We actually started this trip off in Stein and Rhein, Switzerland, to meet up with some friends from Alaska. It had that classic and charming Swiss town feel without all the crowds. This place is only a 2.5-hour drive from Stuttgart and would make for a perfect weekend getaway. Even Levi thought this town was, as he said it, so adorable. After a few days in Stein am Rhein, we started the trek the rest of the way to Odyssey, with a pit stop about halfway in Innsbruck, Austria, where we walked around and found a playground to get some energy out. When we arrived in Odyssey, we had to meet up with our Airbnb host to make sure our car would make it up the steep road to the house. Thankfully, our trusty Honda CR-V handled the bumps and incline like a champ. This Airbnb was insane and had by far the coolest view I've ever had from an Airbnb. It was so peaceful to sit out on the benches and watch the clouds flow in and out of the valley. There was even a waterfall off to the right of the Airbnb, and the sound of the flowing water just made the experience that much more calming. On day one in the Dolomites, we made our way to the town of Kompach to rent e-bikes and cruise around the Alpe di Susi, or the Sizer Alm. The road to Kompach closes at 9 a.m., and we made it there by 8:50. We had no problems renting e-bikes for 3 adults, plus a trailer. The Alpe di Susi is the largest high alpine meadow in Europe, and in every direction you get views of the stunning green hills with the famous jagged peaks of the Dolomites popping out behind them. The area is dotted with refugios, or mountain huts, where you can spend the night or stop for food as you're exploring the area. And most of them have playgrounds for kids, which was fantastic. Throughout the day, we stopped at 5 different mountain huts, and I think we all agreed that our favorite was the Salmon hut. We got there early before the crowds, got the best seats in the house, and had the playground to ourselves. We also really enjoyed the Saltner hut and the Rausch hut. I was not prepared for just how fast you can go on a bike down those hills, and I have never gone that fast on a bike before in my entire life. If you do rent an e-bike, there are endless options of where you could go, and you can tailor the experience to your comfort and activity level. The following day, the weather was rainy on and off, so we decided to push back our plans for Seceda and go try some of the world's best pizza in the town of Bolzano and walk around the Lago di Braies. The next day, we said goodbye to our beautiful Airbnb and started our morning by taking the cable car up to Seceda. The ridgeline was incredible, and we had the most beautiful weather. We ate some lunch at the restaurant at the top and spent some time playing on the playground while we enjoyed the views. We then started our journey to the next Airbnb in Cortina d'Ampezzo. We decided to take a slight detour so we could drive along the Passo Giau. We stopped at the small reflection pond, which was a little more like a mud puddle, but even so, there was no one else in this little area, and we had fun throwing rocks and flying the drone around.
Sparrows in flight, but the words stay caged in the hollow night. Oh, you and me, tangled roots of an old oak tree, whisper.
Finally, we made it to our next Airbnb, a very quirky and unique chalet-style home. From there, we walked about 2 minutes up the road and found the most amazing little Italian restaurant. I had the best eggplant of my entire life, and then walked out to this view. The next morning, we slept in and had a lazy day exploring the town of Cortina and eating more pizza. The boys had a lot of fun looking for cool cars around town. On our third day, on the east side of the Dolomites, we had planned to hike the famous Tracime. After driving about 45 minutes, we arrived to find that as of 2025, parking reservations for this hike needed to be made online in advance. Womp womp. So we moved on to plan B and drove the opposite direction to the Cinque Torri. This was on my if we have time list, but I'm so glad it worked out in our plan. After a cable car ride up, we were greeted with some breathtaking views, and of course, a mountain hut restaurant. After some lunch, we made our way around the short circular hike. This hike is also an open-air World War I museum, where you can explore World War I trenches and learn some of the history of the area. During our time here, I went online and reserved some parking for the Tracime at 6 p.m. We decided the hike would be too long for the kids after such a long day, so Rhein and Joshua set off to do the hike on their own. And I took the kids for a shorter 2-mile hike up towards the insta-famous Cadini di Miserina. Our hike was a little steeper than I anticipated and had a few cliffy spots, but we ended with the most spectacular place to eat our dinner, with 360 mountain views.
Oh, you and me, dancing wild where no one sees, spinning, shouting, out of tune, breaking strings beneath the moon. The teacups cracked, the milk's gone sour, still we sit and sip through the quiet hour. Your eyes, they dart like sparrows in flight, but the words stay caged in the hollow night. Oh, you and me, tangled roots of an old oak tree.
Once the sun had started to set, we made our way back to the Refugio Aranzo, watching the lights of the rock climbers on the mountains start to light up and the clouds roll in. We went into the Refugio, had a snack, and played until the boys made it back from their hike. This evening was definitely one to remember. Ryan and Joshua arrived a little after the sun had fully set and said they basically had the whole trail to themselves, a far cry from the usual tourist crowds that flock here early in the mornings. So we learned a few things today. Number 1, make sure to reserve your parking in advance. And number 2, consider coming for an evening hike to beat the crowds. On our final morning in the Dolomites, we checked out of our Airbnb and started our drive north towards Stuttgart, making a pit stop at the famous Lago di Braies or Prager Wild Sea. Much like Oceanensee in Switzerland, this lake was crawling with influencers with tripods and outfit changes. But even so, it was worth a stop and has a nice walking trail around the lake.
Spoons and a jar of dreams.
We then drove 2 hours before stopping to stretch our legs and go down our favorite alpine slide and playground that offers beautiful views of Neuschwanstein Castle. It was a really great way to end our 10-day adventure. In our next video, I will be taking the kids on a solo adventure to see the cattle drive in Austria.